Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to do Unit 14, choosing the right location and layout. Okay, choosing a business location. It's the first decision in which area of the world, region, country, or city that you have to decide where you're going to locate your business. A strategic location can be an important competitive advantage. Okay, the best location depends on the type of business and industry. The needs of the business and its customers should be considered, and advancements in technology have created more flexibility for entrepreneurs selecting a location. So telecommuting, so working over the internet, so not everybody needs to be at the same location. Availability and cost of air travel, so some people can be in different countries, or you can move around countries more. You don't need to have headquarters in multiple countries. People can just fly in. And improved supply chains. So when you're thinking of competitive advantage, think about if you know where the majority of your customers are located and you put your business in the middle of that location, but your competition is not there, you have a competitive advantage. It's that simple. Okay, choosing a business location. What factors should an entrepreneur consider when choosing the location of their business? Well, here's 8. Costs, so the rent costs. Taxation could be different between cities or countries or provinces and states. Availability of qualified workers. Not everybody's going to want to commute an hour to get to a job. Infrastructure, water, electricity, internet, roads. Access to transportation. How close are you to an airport, a shipping port, or major highways? Traffic patterns. How many customers are in the area? Accessibility of the business for customers. Availability of material, supplies, and inventory, and tax rates. And the list goes on. Government incentives. Are governments giving some kind of tax break if you locate in certain areas? Boeing, for example, the airplane manufacturer, moved some of its operations out of Washington State into Illinois because, I believe it was Illinois, could have been Indiana, was offering a tax break, so they moved part of their business across the country in the United States. Regulations, availability of capital, quality of life for the entrepreneur and the employees, location of the competitors, compatibility with the community, clustering, related companies in an industry and industry players located in a concentrated geographic area. For example, Silicon Valley in California has a lot of tech companies, and that draws a lot of high-quality employees. So now there's a larger labor pool of qualified employees in that area. And they can have, as we discussed before, strategic partnerships where they work together on certain projects and they're close by, and the right feel. Okay, so all of these you've done in these topics, you've done in accounting, you would have discussed in law, you would have discussed in HR, and you would have discussed in marketing. So I won't go into detail in each of these. Location selection process. An entrepreneur should conduct research, secondary research, find existing sources of data and information on demographic analysis, the age, income, education level, population growth projections, future highway construction, accessibility, climate, weather, operating costs, labor market analysis, and economic outlook. Okay, do research on these on the different locations where you're considering opening your business. Primary research. Go out and observe the areas in person. Okay, in Qatar, sources of information. The Ministry of Development and Planning Statistics and Qatar Statistics Authority. So there's 2 you can use here in Qatar for information on location. Choosing the specific site. Use factors to make decisions. Key factors will depend on the type of industry and the key considerations. Manufacturers may be more concerned about access to transport and labor. Retailers are concerned about how close they are to customers and competitors. Will customers visit the business location? That's a big question to ask. If not, then location is more dependent on transportation of your goods or the labor pool where people are located to work for you. Test a retail site using a pop-up store, a temporary location used to test the market. So a pop-up store could be You have a new retail concept, a new retail idea, and you locate temporarily a booth in the mall to see what sales are like. And if the sales are very good, then you open a full store. Rent cost and size of location are important considerations. The site may be an important part of the company's brand image. So if you're a luxury brand, locating in an industrial area would seem kind of weird. Retail and service businesses, location considerations. So this is for retail. Trade area size, the region from which a business can expect to draw customers. Retail compatibility, is the location a good mix with other nearby retailers? Complementary products and services. So services that they don't necessarily directly compete, but if somebody goes to a dry cleaner, one spot, what other shops would they want to go to? If there's a dry cleaner next to a grocery store or a pharmacy next to a grocery store, they would be complementary. Degree of competition. Index of retail saturation. Measure of potential sales per square foot of a store space for a particular product in a particular area. So if there's already a lot of people doing your service in the area, it might be a good idea to find a different area. Okay, transportation network. That's the roads, if there's railway, closeness of the airport, those things. Physical and psychological barriers. So is there a major highway cutting the residential neighborhood, and you're on the other side of the highway, and even though it's maybe 100 meters away, it's a 15-minute drive to get there. Customer traffic, adequate parking, reputation of the site area. So if it's low crime or high crime, it's less of a problem in Qatar, but some areas have a poor reputation and people don't want to go there. And then visibility, how easy it is to see your location. You don't want to be tucked behind some mall where nobody even knows you are there. Retail and service location options. Central business districts. In the city center, downtown, or main business area. Cities often set up business districts that draw a lot of people. Neighborhood locations. Stores or shopping areas close to community residential areas. Shopping centers and malls. Large shopping complex often located outside of a city core area. Many stores under one roof with large parking areas. So we see lots of those here in Qatar. Shopping centers and malls. There's 8 types. Okay, so there's a neighborhood shopping center. That's 3 to 12 stores in a little, we would call it a strip mall. Anchor store in a supermarket, drugstore, or department store serves up to 40,000 people. Community shopping centers. 12 to 50 stores. Anchor is a department or variety store, serves 40,000 to 150,000, so they're getting bigger. Power centers. Combined drawing power of a mall with convenience of a neighborhood shopping center. Anchor stores typically occupy 80% of the space. So that could be Lulu Al Gharafa. The anchor is Lulu, and they are probably 80% or more of the space. Theme or festival centers. Employ a unifying theme, often involved entertainment to attract tourists. So Festival City is a little bit like that. Outlet centers. Features manufacturers and retailer outlet stores selling the same brand goods at discount pricing. Usually follows open air design. So if you go onto Google and Google outlet center, or even things like Nike outlet center, Nike would have a store, and Adidas would have a store, Reebok would have a store, all the brands would have their own store, and you would visit this area, and when you go in the store, it's just that brand's products. Lifestyle centers. Located near wealthy residential neighborhoods designed to look more like central business district than a shopping center or mall. So just very appealing to the eye. Okay, regional shopping malls. 50 to 100 stores. Anchor is one or more major department stores, draws customers from a large trading area, often 5 to 15 miles or more. So again, that could be an example mall of Qatar. Festival City would overlap in that area too. And what you can see is sometimes the shopping center can be part of 2, like regional shopping malls, and one that focuses a little bit more on entertainment as well. Super regional shopping malls. Similar to a regional mall, but bigger. Trading area is 25 miles or more. That's about 40 kilometers. 40 kilometer radius. in all directions. Example, Mall of America, Bloomington, Minnesota, the largest mall in the United States. West Edmonton Mall, the largest mall in North America. I'm not sure if it's the largest anymore, but people travel more than 40 kilometers to go to West Edmonton Mall. Sometimes people travel 300 kilometers to go to this mall, and they'll stay overnight. There's a hotel in the mall. Okay, retail and service location options. Near competitors, look for complementary products and services. Inside large retail store. For example, McDonald's or Starbucks inside a Walmart or other large retail store. Non-traditional locations, museums, airports, university campus, conference facility. So thinking about the compatibility and your market. So a coffee shop at a conference facility might be a good idea. Convenience stores at airports, coffee shops at airports, a pharmacy at an airport. These are good ideas. Home-based businesses, so your business can be located from home. On the road, mobile business, so you maybe go around and visit people at their location. Location considerations from manufacturers. Access to materials, supplies, and other resources such as water and electricity. So what are the materials you need to build your product? You want to be at least close to those materials. Access to transportation to ship products. Manufacturers need more space. They need storage space. Regulations, limits to where a business can locate. Will the facility create noise or pollution? That's why Doha has the industrial area. You don't want a lot of those businesses in the center of residential areas. Okay, business incubators. Organizations that combine low-cost, flexible rental space with support services for the small business residents. May provide mentoring and advising services, often for startups and businesses developing new products or technologies. They have been proven to be successful. Companies that graduate from incubators have a success rate of 87%. 84% of graduates, the businesses or the entrepreneurs that come out, stay in the local community creating local jobs. Okay, so Qatar QBIC, and we discussed that in a previous chapter. Okay, layout. Okay, the logical arrangement of the physical facilities of a business that contributes to efficient operations, increased productivity, and higher sales. So having a good store layout allows customers to move around in a more logical way. They don't get lost. Products are laid out in a logical fashion, and it makes the shopping experience much more easily. Or for a manufacturer, the production line is laid out in a way that maximizes how many units of a good you can make in a day, for example. Layout can affect operational efficiency, employee satisfaction, and cost structure. Okay, there was a study. Employees believe that the quality and quantity of their work would be increased by an average of 25% with better workplace design. So this is very important, and it could be a business on its own, workplace design. All right, so you can increase a business's productivity by 25% by having somebody come in who's an expert in this area and help you make sure your business layout is the most efficient possible. External factors of layout. The size must be suitable and large enough to meet the business needs now and also planning growth for the future. The appearance must create the proper image or personality for the business in the consumer's eyes. The entrance must invite customers to come in. And that means people look at your business and it's attractive and they want to go in and just look around at the very least. Okay, external factors. Tips for Windows displays that sell. Keep displays simple. Keep displays clean and current. So this is what's in your Windows. If you have a computer screen, a monitor, or if you're writing or put images on the window itself. Keep displays clean and current. Change displays frequently. Get expert to help if necessary, if you don't know how to do this. Okay, external factors. Must comply with regulations for accessibility. So do you have wheelchair access? Having wheelchair access can increase the amount of business you do. Pay attention to the business design, the most direct method of reaching potential customers. Okay, signage, the business sign. Tell potential customers who you are and what you're selling. Contrasting colors and simple typeface. So the font that you use and the color you use should contrast with the background of the sign. So look at the IKEA, for example. It stands out. It's very clear. Should be very visible, simple, and clear. Should be readable daytime and nighttime. So you might want to install lights on your sign. Must be maintained properly and must comply with government regulations. Building interiors. Ergonomics is an internal part of any design. Proper layout and design pays off in higher productivity, efficiency, and sales. Proper lighting is measured by what is ideal for the job being done. The use of natural light can increase retail sales because it's more pleasant for people, and if you have fluorescent lights, it's actually an unpleasant environment and people eventually want to leave. Sound and scent should appeal to all customers and can boost sales. But sometimes you're in areas where they're spraying so much perfume, people will avoid those areas of a mall. So you have to be careful with too much scent or too much perfumes in your area. Environmentally friendly design for efficiency and appeal. Okay, layout guidelines for retailers. Know your customers' buying habits and plan your layout accordingly. Display merchandise as attractively as your budget would allow. Display complementary items together. Okay, so that means if there's a couple of products and people usually buy them because they go together, put them together. So in a grocery store, that's easy. If you see certain aisles of canned foods or frozen foods, they're all in one area. If you're in, I'm just trying to think of an example in a different retail environment. Think of products that people buy in pairs or in groups of 3 or groups of 4, and having them close to each other will increase your sales. Recognize the value of floor space. Never waste valuable selling space with non-selling functions. Okay, that means you have space that people can move around. You have space for the products. You have space for some displays that help promote the product or make the place look more attractive. But try to avoid putting things in your retail environment that do nothing for the customer or nothing for sales. Checkout process and timing is critical for customer satisfaction. So make sure people don't have to wait in line too long. People will sometimes look at the lineup and just not come into your store because it looks like it's going to take forever once they get to the checkout. Okay, space values for a small store. All right, so these are the grids of, so you have the front entrance, you have the 2 windows on each side, and what they show here are areas where people will go throughout your store. So 18%, and then people move to the right and then move back, and they'll follow a certain pattern, but generally they'll stay up front and often not go to the very back of the store. Okay, for whatever reason, people, maybe they get claustrophobic, they're afraid of closed spaces or something. They don't go into the back of the store. And if you notice, if you go into a lot of stores in the very back, I don't want to say that's where you'll find all the junk, but you'll find the items that sell less in the very backs of the store. An exception can be in grocery shopping, in North America at least. Eggs, banana, and milk are in the very back, okay? Because the stores know that's what people are coming for, and it forces people to walk all the way through the store to see everything else, hopefully buy more before they get to the eggs, bread, and milk, because those things are called staples. Okay, 3 retail layout patterns. Grid, rectangular with parallel aisles. Formal, controls traffic flow, uses selling space efficiently. Supermarkets and self-service discount stores. Freeform, free-flowing and formal, creates friendly environment, flexible. Small specialty shops. And boutique, divides the store into a series of individual shopping areas, each with its own theme, unique shopping environment. Could be small department stores, and also large department stores. In Canada, it was called Hudson Bay, or it's Hudson Bay, and they would have several boutiques, similar to an outlet where the different brands were in different areas, and they would have their store organized by brand. Layout for manufacturers. Goal is to create a smooth flowing, efficient, productive, and safe workflow. Considerations: type of product, type of production process, ergonomic considerations, economic considerations, spaceability within the facility. So layout for manufacturers has a lot to do with safety, because you don't want the forklift going all the way through, your work area where people are walking around. Maybe you only have the forklift only where the heaviest stuff needs to be moved, and sometimes pallets get broken down and the parts move out through the work area for manufacturing. So think of that safety as a consideration, and think of efficiency as a consideration in manufacturing. Types of manufacturing layout. Product layout. Plant is organized based on the sequence of a product manufacturing process. So how the product gets built, that's how you lay out the plant. Process layout. Workers and equipment are grouped together based on the general function that they perform. Fixed position layout. Because of the size and weight of a product, the product is built in one location. For example, a boat or an aircraft. So boats are in a dock. They stay in that dock for about 90% of the manufacturing process, and it never moves. So people come to that dock to do the work on the boat, and as their process is finished, they leave the area and new people come in to work on their process of building the boat. Manufacturing layouts. Layouts should focus on avoiding or eliminating the 7 forms of waste in the manufacturing process. These forms of waste are transportation, moving things around, inventory, getting to your inventory to start building again or storing the inventory, motion, how much people have to move, waiting. So sometimes in manufacturing a product there's a bottleneck, and that is one process might take twice as long as the next process. So if somebody takes an hour to finish their job and you only take 1 hour to finish your job, you're going to be waiting an hour. So it might be good to have 2 people working in the part of the process that takes 2 hours, so they can keep the guy who only takes 1 hour busy. Overproduction, processing, and defects. Defects are manufacturing flaws where the product is no good and either has to be scrapped, thrown out, or disassembled and rebuilt. And that is the end. So if you have any questions, email or post on the D2L question forums, and we'll do our next lecture, next class. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.